Good morning, Houston Hyenas. This is Demond Simeon, aka Dr. Sim, aka the head ball coach. Uh, I've been meaning to do this video after week one, but man, I have just been extremely busy over the past few weeks. But I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you guys for being part of the organization. Um, It is a pleasure to have all of you on this team. I know that you guys could be doing something else with your time and having a different hobby or so. But being part of the SFL is such an honor to have you guys, especially the returning guys. Thank you all for returning back to the organization. When you had the decision or the opportunity to go anywhere with any other team that you may have liked to choose. Also, I'd like to want to say thank you to our rookies for coming in and being such positive individuals, coming in with such great energy. We needed that from you guys coming in. There was a few guys that we had last season that just didn't have the type of energy that you guys are bringing to the organization, and that's basically what we was looking for. Guys who had great energy, guys who had great character, and so forth. But once again, thank you guys for being with us and accepting our invitation to draft you all. Also, I just want to do normally what I do on Mondays is I do a game recap. But like I stated, the past few weeks I've been extremely busy. And so let's start with week one. Week one, we came out the gate blazing versus Portland. We put up 48 points versus Portland, who really has a great defense. And that was a game that basically, started to show that we are for real and that we're game planning and putting our guys in positions and situations to make plays. And that's the whole thing about it, is that when we're scouting and when we're running these simulations during the week, that's what we look for. We look for ways to get our guys in position to make plays. And it shows in week one what type of team that we are, how explosive we can be, and it also shows the type of defense that we have. A lot of people, a lot of critics are saying, well, Houston drafted had to draft 8 picks 2 years in a row. And they're not going to do too good this year. Last season we was called a dumpster fire. I thought that was pretty disastrous to say. I felt that type of comment will basically run off, free agents and run off draft picks with that these guy type of individuals wouldn't want to come and play for us. But that just goes to show that they're wrong and that my opinion was wrong as well. In reference to believing that would happen to us, as we got great feedback throughout the season. We received great recognition from guys wanting to come and play with us. And so that was basically it for week one. Week one, Dave Berg put on a show. Sam did well. All wide receivers and tight ends got involved. I love the way how the offense is built and structured, where that we're getting everyone involved. We're not targeting one or two individuals basically on every play. Warren Murray helped out a little bit in the run game, passing game as well. Picked up some key first downs for us. And defense, man, you guys are doing an outstanding job. I want to say that first game versus Portland, I want to say Brody Goach had about 11 or 12 tackles, if I'm not mistaken. Outstanding performance. We did have, I think, 2 sacks. I know that Frank Stackhouse had a sack himself. We had, I think, 2 picks that game. One from both Brady Clark and Ethan Kai. Moving on, outstanding performance week one, guys. Thank you so much for being in the chats, watching the game, and so forth, and just supporting the team. Moving on to week two versus San Diego. Week two, what I noticed with San Diego is that their offense. Let's just say this: San Diego is better than what their record shows. Okay, I'm just gonna put that out there. that is a really, really great team that they have over there. They had some key acquisitions come over in the free agency period, and they're moving in the right direction. They just gotta get some things tweaked and fixed within their systems that they're running. I think they're all over the place when it comes to their defense. Their defense, they run so many different formations. Take this for example. They have 4 defensive linemen and they have 4 linebackers. Like, and it's like, okay, so if you have you either go one or the other, right? So if you got 4 defensive linemen, you're either going to run a 4-3 base defense or and run the nickel. So with them having all these pieces within the front, the front, the first and second levels of the defense, like I said, they run the 4-3, they run the 3-4, they run the 3-3, and they run the 3-2 down. It's like you just got they just all over the place, you know. But that's no here nor there. I mean, that's none of my business. That's them. They run it how they want to run it or whatever. But let's just say that what I noticed on for them offensively is that they were targeting the corner post. And so what I basically did defensive wise, and spoke with Ethan about this, that hey, we should pull everything cover 3 and everything cover 2 out, so that we can stop that. And as you saw the game, they were moving down the field on us, and that's what we wanted to allow. We didn't want them to beat us deep on the corner post and then the post deep down the middle of the field. So we almost lost that game, guys. We almost lost that game, man. They came back, you know, they kicked those 3 field goals after we had the lead. We scored our first touchdown, and they kicked 3 field goals, took the lead 9-7 or whatever, and we got lucky, you know, with Sam going over, Dave Berg going over the top, throwing the touchdown pass to Sam breaking those 3 tackles. I was shocked that he broke all 3. I just thought he was going to break maybe 1 or 2 of the tackles, but seeing him break all 3, man, was just an exciting play to see. That play, if there was a plays of the week, that should have been number 1, just in my opinion or so. Also moving over to week 3. Week 2. Let's give a kudos and thumbs up to Mike Jones, who came away with the INT that game. I want to say Frank Stackhouse had a sack that game as well. Outstanding performance defensively, not allowing a touchdown the entire game from San Diego. I think that shows that our defense is in a pretty good position. We are number 2 in defense right now within points per game. We only allow 13 points per game. Mexico City allows 12 points per game. I have to go back and take a look at it because I know that it should be updated. We may be ahead of Mexico City now. I can't remember how many points they gave up on Friday or so. So moving on to week 3. Oh man, what a game, week 3. For coming to versus game planning versus Tulsa all week long defensively. I noticed that they like to run a lot of short out routes and stuff like that, quick little drags going across the middle, and basically what I wanted to do was to take that away from them, and also not to allow them to beat us deep as well. So defensively, we went, we went 3 strong, 3 weak, cover 4, and that's basically all I wanted to do. But at the last minute, we end up adding the cover 3 in there, and I think along as the 3 robber or so, and it shows, once you do your work, man, game planning and scheming and running simulations and so forth, you can put together a pretty good game plan, and man, I tell you, I love the group of guys that we have in reference to guys who are doing scouting and so forth, presenting me with scouting reports, what they're what they're seeing and what they're noticing from the other team. That helps out a lot. But I'm also scouting as well. Game three, man, I gotta give thumbs up to Stephen Walker. Stephen Walker became well involved within the offense this week. There were some things that Tulsa was doing that just allowed him to get open a lot. You know, he was on deep post down the middle, corner routes, out routes or so. He was receiving little swings. He was receiving passes. Randy Pierce as well was in the mix. You know, like I said, the way the offense was built, it was built to target and get everyone involved in the passing game. And like I stated, it wasn't built to have one player getting all the shine. Let's talk about the running game for a second. We know that Warren Murray hasn't been productive so far this season. His first two games he had exactly like 60 yards, and then week 3 he had like 30 something yards. If we take a look at those first 3 teams that we played, those guys have great front sevens, starting with their defensive line at that. And we saw with Tulsa, we had a negative rushing yards at the half. And then he picked it up in the second half or so. Going into week 3, we should have a lot of success. LA runs a lot of 3-3, and they run a lot of 3-2 dime. 3-3 nickel and 3-2 dime. That's basically going to leave the outside open and the middle of the field open for Murray to get things going. They don't blitz their linebackers. I've only saw one play where they blitz a linebacker and he's coming up the middle. And that's basically in their 3-3. I want to say it was cover 3 that I saw them run. Other than that, man, going back to Tulsa, we had a great offensive game plan going into that game. Basically, we didn't change too much offensively compared to the first 2 weeks. We did remove some things out of the playbook, but as I stated, the offense is geared and built to get everyone involved. Basically, I wanted to run a West Coast offense style this week, which will get the ball out of the quarterback's hands fast. Right now, we're above 500 when it comes to interceptions and touchdowns and interceptions with Dave Burr, and that's the way it should be, and that's the way we need to try to keep it. Not targeting the ball downfield an entire lot like we did versus San Diego. I noticed that versus San Diego, those first 3 drives or so, we just came out blazing, throwing the ball deep downfield, which was crazy to me. And I don't even think we ran the ball those first 3 possessions. So that was it there. So some of those deep plays have been removed. And we saw a better offense versus Tulsa. I was shocked that we even went deep the first play of the game. That wasn't intentional. That was just the AOC saw something, and I guess it worked. I thought we was gonna come out running and throwing a lot of, throwing some out routes and some quick slants or so, in routes going across the middle. That's what I thought was going to happen this week. I was not expecting us to come out blazing, over the top like that. But great performance, man, all 3 weeks by everyone. Marco Swift, I know you're looking for that pick, man. Just hang in there, buddy. You're doing a great job. I mean, not too many people can say they shut down Gabriel Manning. And at the convention, you saw his face. He didn't get anything deep. Special teams played great because he's one of the most dangerous kick returners in the SFL. But man, this video is getting a little bit too long. I'm at 14 minutes now. I'm going to end it there. I'll be doing another game recap next Monday. But Hyena Nations, stay hungry, pack. All right. Man, I'm just excited. Like I said, we got LA coming up. LA beat us last season. So this is basically a redeem game for us to come back and beat LA in our home. We were on the road the last 2 weeks. Now we come back home. Let's get things rolling once again, man, and just go 4-0. This team hasn't been 4-0 since season 8. We're in season 17 now. Let's continue to push and get things rolling. I think the best record we started off was 5-0 in season 8. Season 4, we started out 4-1. So this is like our second best start, if I'm not mistaken. And there's been seasons where we start off 0-3 and then came back and made the playoffs as well. But like I stated, like I always like to say, also progression, guys. Let's get progression in. I checked last night. We still had 7 people that hasn't got progression in. Tuesday night is the last night. Let's have progression all done and completed sometime by tonight or so if we can. As I like to state, when you progress your player, not only does your player gets better, but the entire teams get better. All right, so let's get better. H-Town, stand up. What it do? Let's go, Hyenas. Peace.